Thank you. Actually, about talking to me, I wouldn't recommend that, really. But it's so lovely to be here. It's always lovely to be recognized, and I've been fortunate to get a few of such things, but it's just really lovely when it's from an organization that you respect and admire, as I do this one. So thank you. I read Marianne's book some years ago. It made me cry. I don't cry easily. And it's just lovely to meet you. And I'm just so moved by your grace and your humor and your realness. And it's just lovely to meet you, Marianne. And I also want to say how happy I am to be sharing this thing with two amazing women. Whenever I see Juju on TV, I just get happy. Because she just seems to know what she's talking about, and she always looks glamorous doing it. And when I heard that Pamela had been made the new editor of the book review, the thing about being a writer is that we have these little clans, gossipy clans, where we text and email each other and say very unkind things about the New York Times and other places. But I remember that when Pamela was made, when we heard that she'd been made the editor, there were very few unkind things said. I was personally thrilled. I did not know her, but I was just so happy to hear that this woman had been made editor. And for me, it was proof in some ways that the other half of the world's population, slowly and surely, is getting to a place of equality with the other half, someday soon. I remember the first time I did an event with Girls Right Now, and 2010, I didn't realize it was that long ago. And I just remember being stunned by the young girls and how they just seemed to be in control of things and sort of have their SHIT together. And the reason I was stunned by this is that when I was their age, I wasn't as clear-eyed and as clear-headed as they seemed. And I like to think that some of the credit for that luminous lucidity goes to the kind and generous women who are the mentors. And I just want to say thank you to all of you. It's very, very inspiring to me that you take your time and you make the effort, because you're doing something that is truly humane and beautiful. And I want to thank Maya, because you've done something that's necessary. Thank you. And so just to say a few things to the girls who are writing and telling their stories. I think it's important to tell your story. I think you've heard that from many people. I think it's important to tell your story truthfully. And I think that's a difficult thing to do, to be truly truthful, because it's only natural to be concerned about offending people or possible consequences. And so when I teach a writing workshop in Nigeria every year, and what I say to my students, and what I say mostly to the female students, is forget about likability. I think that what our society teaches young girls, and I think it's also something that's quite difficult for even older women, self-confessed feminists, to shrug off, is that idea that likability is an essential part of the space you occupy in the world, that you're supposed to twist yourself into shapes to make yourself likable, that you're supposed to kind of hold back sometimes, pull back, don't quite say, don't be too pushy because you have to be likable. And I say that is bullshit. And so what I want to say to the young girls is forget about likability. If you start off thinking about being likable, you're not going to tell your story honestly, because you're going to be so concerned with not offending. And that's going to ruin your story. So forget about likability. And also, the world is such a wonderful, diverse, multifaceted place that there's somebody who's going to like you. You don't need to twist yourself into shapes. So thank you again for this. It means a lot to me.